Have you noticed how these moderns, these enlightened ones, these Renaissance spirits, how they adjust their opinions to their shifting interests? They call this progress, growth, when it's an adjustment of their worldviews to whatever is in their self-interest at the time. Let me give you an example. A woman might be such a passionate feminist, because she wants to keep her options open. She doesn't want to be restricted by paternalism. She wants to find her soulmate because she's a fucking moron. And she still believes in that shit. And then she grows up and she gets slapped around a bit. She has a couple of reality checks. And then she has, let's say she has a boy. And then all of a sudden, her feminism dissipates. It disappears. Now she's no longer a feminist. Let's take a moron male who thinks he's gonna play it. He's gonna find his soulmate, the ideal woman for him. They're gonna live happily ever after. Or he might play the field. He'll be fuck around. Then he gets slapped around. He has a reality check. Maybe he manages to get a daughter. All of a sudden, when he has a daughter, then he becomes a feminist because he wants his daughter to have no restrictions, right? And then that's going to be a reality check in the end. But most often, such a man will get no kids. He will realize that his market value in the sex department is negligible. That females have been priced out of his price range, out of his budget. And he will reach a certain age of 50, let's say, and he will have no kids, no wife, no girlfriend, and no prospects. And what will he do? Then all of a sudden he will realize, my God, what an idiot I was all those years. And indeed, that's the case. And this is why many deny free will. They don't want this to be their fault. So they must believe that it was all fate, that it could not have been any other way. The thing is, these morons think they are progressing, they are growing, when they are not. They are simply adjusting their perspectives to their circumstances. That's all. They never cared about how their perspectives would impact their culture. How would the liberation of women impact their culture? They never thought about that. How will it impact mankind? They don't care about that. Their perspective is me, me, me. Whatever benefits me. That's why they can never think broadly, objectively. They always think subjectively, emotionally. If it's in my interest, it's true. If it's not true. When I was a feminist, young, and I had the life in front of me, and I had these romantic ideals, I was going to find the perfect man, and he's going to fall in love with me, and he's going to be rich and handsome, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then you get slapped around because maybe you're not hot enough to have such a man. Maybe you didn't have the traits. All of a sudden, you settle. You settle for what you can get. And you make the best of it. Now all of a sudden, your perspective, your opinions shift. Now settling is something profound, deep. So it's fucking incredible how much stupidity is out there. Same thing with a man. When he's young, he still has his life in front of him. He's gonna play the field, man. He's gonna fuck around. He's gonna get the best chick out there, and then he's gonna become rich, right? He's gonna make plenty of money. He's gonna have his pick of the litter. Then he realizes it's not that easy, was it? Was it? No. Because in order to become rich, you have to do some nasty shit. You have to sell yourself to the devil. You have to do shit that will compromise your dignity. Yes, your dignity. And some men cannot do that. Not all men can do that. That's true. The men who do make it, can do it, become rich and famous. But not all men can do that. And then all of a sudden they get slapped in the face with reality. And then they realize, oh my God. Then they shift, their opinions shift. So they're growing. See, this is what they call they're progressing. Now they've had a growth spurt, a spiritual growth spurt. Now they realize certain things. They're adjusting their ego to their limits. That's what it is. And if some of them, like I said, they have a daughter, oh, now they become feminists. Some players, they become feminine. Oh, now all of a sudden, it's about feminine rights because now they live vicariously through their kids, right? That's what it is. Kids are an extension of your ego. Now all of a sudden they become feminists. Female rights, even though they don't give a shit how these female rights will impact their culture, the culture they believe they belong to and they love. Most of them don't give a shit about culture. They're Americanized. Their culture is no culture. Their culture is money. Money, 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 money. Fame. How to make it. What does that mean? How to have your pick of dicks and pussies. That's what it is. How to have your options of dicks and pussies expanded. And they want that for their kids. And of course, Americanism offers them, oh, your daughter, if she gets a degree, then she can have, she'll find her ideal mate then. She could be anything. Chinese, black, white, doesn't matter for them. They don't give a shit about anything but themselves. They don't care how this impacts their culture, like I said, their people, their ethnos, their ancestors. They don't give a shit. They're Americans. They're moderns. They believe all people are the same. All of a sudden, now their daughter has a right, and he's gonna protect her from men like what he was in his past. Just like the woman is gonna protect her sons from women she knows she was in her youth. This is what's progressed. What's progressed? What's changed are her interests. Nothing else. She doesn't give a shit about anything else. Moderns don't give a shit about it. They're not objective. They're subjective. They only care about how things impact them. That's it. And when their interests shift, their opinions shift. And how do they explain? Like I said, they call it progress. They've grown. That's what they call it.